dad never let me touch his old phone. I always thought my father was a man of few attachments. Even after my mother died, he moved through grief quietly, with precision. His emotions were tucked behind tines, behind the order he maintained in our household. No visible cracks, no displays of longing. But there was one exception. One object he never let me touch. It was an old keypad phone, not a smartphone. No apps, no notifications, just a simple device capable only of sending calls, or as I would later discover, messages that never went out. For years, I didn't press him. Some rules are unspoken, some objects are untouchable. When my father passed away last year, the house suddenly felt heavy with objects that had lost context. Every photograph, note, or book seemed to ask questions I could not answer. And there was the phone, sitting on his nightstand, exactly where it had always been, charged, quiet, waiting. I kept it. I didn't know why. Perhaps I hoped it would tell me something about the man he had been, the life he had quietly lived between grief and duty. Months later, I charged it. The screen flickered slowly to life, weak and dim. The time and date were wrong. Then I opened the messages. 47 drafts, unsent, waiting. Every single one addressed to my mother. She had been gone for 10 years. I braced myself for chaos, desperation, grief spilling onto the screen. Instead, the messages were ordinary, almost painfully mundane. Safely arrived at work. Today, I made your favorite doll. The house was quiet tonight. I missed you a bit more this evening. Some messages were weeks apart, some months, some years. No crescendo, no panic. Just a consistent, almost ritualistic effort to preserve connection. I imagined him typing each one, pausing, rereading, holding the phone gently in his hands, perhaps whispering the words to himself. He kept these moments alive, even though she could not see them, even though they existed in a space where absence was permanent. The last draft stopped me completely, dated the night before he died. Maybe tomorrow I'll stop pretending you're just busy. Then I understood. My father wasn't clinging to the phone itself. He was clinging to a version of life where absence wasn't final, where silence meant delay, not loss. He did not need my mother to read the messages. He needed them to exist. They were a tether to a reality that had once been whole. The phone was never a possession. It was a sacred space, a private bridge between life and memory. Their conversations continued, uninterrupted by time, by absence, by death. I didn't delete anything, I turned the phone off, then back on. And in that act, I finally understood the rule. Do not touch it. It was about preserving love in its quietest, most enduring form, even without replies, even without recognition. The messages existed because he existed, and that was enough. For the first time, I felt not emptiness, but the quiet resonance of continuity. They were still talking, still present, and I, finally, was allowed to bear witness. Holding the phone in my hands, I could almost hear him speaking to her again, softly, carefully, in words that would never leave that small screen, but that carried a lifetime of devotion.